He mockery of humanity. The skies above are split open with fire. They came not as friends, nor as explorers, but as conquerors. The Dravari Ascendancy, rulers of 1,000 worlds, descended with fleets that blotted out the stars. Their ships, sleek and alien, hovered above our cities like shadows of doom. Their voices thundered across every channel, every broadcast, every screen. Humans of Earth, you are primitive. You are weak. You are children playing with fire. Submit to the Ascendancy, and you will be spared. Resist, and you will burn. The world held its breath. For the first time in history, every nation on Earth looked up at the same sky and saw death staring back. Governments scrambled. Generals demanded time. Scientists whispered of impossibility. But the Dravari gave none. They didn't want allies. They didn't want peace. They wanted slaves. To them, humanity was not a people, just another resource to be chained, mined, and bled dry in service of the Empire. When the first attacks came, the world shook. Beams of searing energy cut through skyscrapers like knives through paper. Entire city blocks vanished in storms of fire. Our jets rose to fight, fast, desperate, proud, but the Dravari swatted them from the sky like insects. Tanks rolled into position, firing round after round, only to be turned to molten slag by weapons beyond comprehension. The invaders laughed, not in sound, but in their actions. Their arrogance was a mockery, a performance of superiority. To them, Earth was already conquered, the battle nothing more than a demonstration to remind us of our place. But what they did not understand was simple. Humanity had never been the strongest, never been the most advanced. What we had always been was resilient. In the ashes of burning cities, survivors gathered. Soldiers and civilians alike picked through wreckage, scavenging alien scraps, weapons, and armor from fallen Dravari. Engineers and hackers, once designing smartphones and satellites, now dissected alien drones with frantic determination. Farmers turned hunting rifles into resistance weapons. Mechanics turned trucks into armored war machines. The Dravari thought they were crushing us. But with every strike, every city leveled, every life taken, they were teaching us. And soon they would learn, because humanity does not kneel. Humanity fights. And the galaxy was about to discover the cost of calling us primitive. Sparks of resistance. The Dravari thought Earth had fallen. They saw our cities burning and believed the war was over. But wars are not won by fleets in orbit. They are won and lost, in the dirt, in the blood, in the hearts of those who refuse to die quietly. And humanity refused. In the shattered remains of New York, soldiers and civilians gathered in the ruins of subway tunnels. They shared food, water, and whispers of survival. Above them, Dravari patrols stalked the streets, armored giants with weapons that could melt steel. Yet in the tunnels, plans were forming. Engineers studied the scraps of alien drones. Mechanics rewired their power cells. Old soldiers taught the young how to fight in shadows. From the wreckage of a downed transport, humanity built its first stolen victory, a plasma rifle rewired for human use. The weapon was unstable, dangerous even to the one holding it. But when a patrol of Dravari enforcers marched into the ruins, it roared with stolen fire. For the first time, alien blood stained Earth soil, and word spread like wildfire. In London, a captured Dravari skimmer was repainted with a Union Jack and flown in midnight raids against alien outposts. In the Siberian wastes, hunters set traps for alien war beasts, bringing down creatures bred for war with spears tipped in scavenged plasma. In Africa, tribes and militias blended ancient tactics with stolen alien tech, vanishing into deserts and jungles where the Dravari scanners could not follow. Every continent rose in defiance. Every battle was brutal. Every victory was small. But together, they became something greater, a movement the Dravari had not faced in centuries. Guerrilla war. The Dravari were not prepared for this. Their empire had crushed thousands of worlds, but always in the same way. Overwhelm, enslave, control. They had never fought an enemy who refused to fight properly. Their war doctrine demanded order, lines, battles, submission. But humanity gave them chaos. Mines and mountain passes turned patrols into smoldering wreckage. Snipers from crumbled towers picked off alien officers one by one. Entire convoys vanished into forests, swallowed by traps and fire. Every city became a battlefield. Every ruined home, a fortress. And the more they struck us down, the more we learned. Scientists, hidden in bunkers beneath the Rockies, tore apart captured alien weapons, discovering their weaknesses. Coders rewired alien drones to turn on their masters. Mechanics retrofitted Earth's jets and submarines with stolen alien power cores, giving birth to hybrid machines unlike anything the galaxy had seen. We weren't just surviving. We were adapting. The Dravari had called us primitive, but in the smoke of our burning world, humanity was evolving faster than they could comprehend. Every ambush, every act of defiance, every stolen weapon, they were sparks, and together, those sparks were building a fire that no empire could contain. And deep in the void, the Dravari High Command finally began to realize the truth. Humanity was not a people broken. We were a people rising, turning their weapons against them. The Dravari Ascendancy had expected chaos to collapse into silence. Instead, chaos began to sharpen into something far deadlier: organization. In hidden bunkers carved deep beneath mountains, humanity's brightest minds worked by candlelight and generator hum. Around them lay pieces of alien war machines, shattered drones, cracked rifles, burnt-out power cores. To the Dravari, these were scraps. To humanity, they were treasure. Engineers dissected alien plasma weapons and rebuilt them with Earth's crude tools. Unstable? Yes. Dangerous? Always. But when fired, they tore through Dravari armor just the same. Mechanics grafted alien shields onto tanks, welding steel with alien alloys until machines of war looked like monsters pulled from nightmares. The first hack skimmercraft flew over the Andes. It was patched together with duct tape, stolen circuits, and human stubbornness. Its pilot, a former test pilot named Rains, whispered over comms, "Let's see how these bastards like their own toys." When he strafed the Dravari convoy with their own weapons, leaving only wreckage behind, cheers erupted across hidden resistance channels. Humanity had done the unthinkable. We were no longer fighting with what little we had. We were fighting with what we had taken. Across the globe, victories multiplied. In Africa, resistance fighters brought down an alien troop carrier and rebuilt it into a mobile command base, a fortress on wheels. In Japan, coders turned captured alien drones against their masters, rewriting their targeting protocols until they marched into Dravari bases and opened fire on their own troops. In the deserts of Nevada, scientists powered Earth's first orbital strike cannon with a Dravari core, blasting an enemy cruiser from the sky. The message was clear. Humanity wasn't just resisting anymore. We were learning, adapting, evolving, and we weren't going to stop. The Dravari grew frustrated. Their report spoke of primitive apes somehow fielding hybrid fleets. Their admirals demanded order, demanded extermination. But extermination was no longer possible, because humanity was no longer just fighting on Earth. The first human-led raid into orbit was a suicide mission, and yet it succeeded. A ragtag fleet of stolen Dravari transports, barely holding together, ambushed a supply station at the edge of the atmosphere. Explosives planted by human commandos tore the station apart, sending flaming wreckage streaking across the night sky. Billions watched from the surface, their hearts ignited. For the first time, alien fire was not just raining down upon Earth. It was burning because of us. The Ascendancy had called us primitive, but now, the galaxy watched as the primitive species hacked the weapons of a 1,000-year empire and turned them into instruments of liberation. And somewhere, deep in the void, the Dravari finally understood the mistake they had made. They had not enslaved animals. They had awakened predators. And predators fight back. The cost of underestimation. The Dravari Ascendancy had ruled for millennia. They believed themselves untouchable, invincible, eternal. But eternity ended with us. The resistance had grown into something the Dravari could no longer ignore. Earth's ruins were no longer scars of defeat. They were foundries of war. Factories hidden in mountains forged hybrid weapons. Shipyards, once shattered, now burned with stolen power, crafting starships from alien wreckage. What began as scattered bands of fighters had become a united front. Soldiers, engineers, farmers, hackers. Every human became part of the war machine. And at its heart, humanity's first true fleet was born. They called it the Iron Dawn. It was ugly, crude, a patchwork of Earth's steel and alien alloys. Human engineering welded onto Dravari technology. But when its engines roared, it was not beauty that mattered. It was power. And with that power, humanity left Earth's skies and carried the fight into the stars. The first major strike came at Drax's prime, a Dravari staging world. The Ascendancy expected scattered raids, a nuisance. Instead, they faced something new, a coordinated human fleet. Hybrid fighters darted between alien cruisers. Hijacked frigates unleashed plasma torpedoes. And in the chaos, human boarding parties stormed enemy vessels, fighting hand-to-hand in zero-gravity corridors, turning the ships of their oppressors into weapons of liberation. For the first time in 10,000 years, the Dravari lost a world to rebellion, and the galaxy noticed. Across enslaved systems, whispers spread. The humans fight back. The humans win. And one by one, other species began to rise, inspired by the impossible, by the apes who refused chains. But the war was not yet won. The Dravari fleet massed for a final strike against Earth, determined to end us. Their armada blotted out the stars, more ships than humanity had ever faced. The Ascendancy would not lose to primitives. Not here. Not now. The battle for Earth would decide everything. The sky above our world became fire. Cruisers clashed in orbit. Fighters screamed through the atmosphere. On the ground, resistance cells fought Dravari troops in every city, every ruin, every street. Humanity was outnumbered, outgunned, outmatched, just as we had been from the start. But this time we weren't fighting alone. The enslaved rose beside us. Species long broken by the Ascendancy joined humanity's banner, wielding weapons we had given them, ships we had helped them steal. Together, we became not just rebels, not just survivors, but an army of the free. And when the Dravari flagship descended to break Earth once and for all, the Iron Dawn rose to meet it. The battle raged for hours, tearing the sky apart. Finally, a boarding party of human soldiers, scarred, bloodied, relentless, fought their way into the Dravari command chamber. There, standing among shattered glass and burning consoles, they delivered humanity's answer. Not surrender, not submission, but execution. The Dravari overlord fell with human steel driven through his chest. Silence followed. Then, across the stars, the Ascendancy began to crumble. Worlds broke free. Armies disbanded. The empire that had ruled for 10,000 years collapsed, undone not by a greater power, but by the one species they had mocked as primitive. And in the aftermath, humanity sent a single message across the galaxy. We are not slaves. We are not primitive. We are human, and we will never kneel.